Today is about building a future-ready nation. Art today has a strong foundation with community at its core. Art today is dedicated to the communities we serve. Art today is always about more than just today. Art today is a continuous journey for a better tomorrow. Tata, leadership with trust. Is an 153-year young, not old, engineering and construction conglomerate. We have a dream to engineer a better planet. We have a dream for Africa to engineer a super Africa. At Shapoorji, our dream for Africa was born a good 13 years ago. At Shapoorji, we believe that Africa and India were born of the same seed. We believe that we have a lot in common and that we can develop these two continents to the mutual benefit of each other. Today, I can proudly say that we are in over 20 different countries in Africa. Our objective at Shapoorji is to enjoy customer trust and to deliver iconic projects on time. have been an international organization for 48 years. In order to focus our vision on certain areas, we would like to have a strategic growth in Africa in the following areas: solar and storage, large-scale convention centers, mass housing, large marine projects, large infrastructure and connectivity projects, large oil and gas projects. At Shapoorji, we endeavor to touch the lives of people in a beneficial manner in whichsoever country or geography that we put our foot into. We would like to come to Africa to enrich the social culture, the social fabric of the entire continent. We would like to come to Africa to enrich ourselves with the culture of the various different African countries. We plan at Shapoorji, we envision at Shapoorji, our focus at Shapoorji is to be in Africa for another 100 years. We would love to make investments in Africa and see Africa grow and grow together with Africa.
Existence. Today, we are a $100 billion global enterprise. Our today has been built on enduring values. It's about delivering excellence across business sectors. With community at its core. Our today is dedicated to the communities we serve. Our today is always about more than just today. Our today is a continuous journey for a better tomorrow. Tata, leadership with trust.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chandirani.
Good afternoon.
We can hear you loud and clear, sir. Good afternoon, Mr. Goel.
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you?
Fine, sir. Fine, sir. Good to see you, sir.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah. We're just going to start in next, a couple of minutes. We are waiting, few people to join in.
Yeah.
Have to leave the meeting.
Delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this session on scaling the peaks of
Io se posso là tutto penso che no, tu. Una cosa quello è أنا قلت له يسوي لي هنا. He's only 68. What is this again?
अपना मूड वगैरह जो है वो ठीक करना। मेरा नाम आ रहा होगा। मैंने तो खा लिया। कोई आवाज नहीं आ रही।
वो उनकी तरफ से No.
सारे लोग आ गए ना? ओके।
જોને આરે પણ શું છે જસ્ટ ટાઈમ મેકિંગ કોલ લે શું બોલે છે મારો બી બ્લોક થઈ ગયો છે મને લાગે કોઈ કોલ કરો છો કોઈ
Mr. Chandani, I would request if you can just start the session, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, sir. Over to you, Mr. Chandrani, to take this forward, sir.
We can take it forward. I can't hear you very well.
Yeah. Yes, sir. You can start the session now, sir. Thank
Okay.
you.
Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this session on scaling new peaks of tourism and hospitality business growth. Tourism and hospitality are among the most impacted sectors after COVID-19 and engulfed the world in successive waves. Today, as many parts of the world move towards normality, there is a great expectation that tourism and hospitality business will stage a strong comeback. Let me state the outset that tourism has always been an important economic sector for Africa. According to the United Nations World Tourism Organization, Africa received 71.2 million tourists arriving in 2019, amounting to a business of total 45 billion in revenue. Africa had always been one of the preferred destinations for tourists looking to enjoy the sunny beaches, national parks, safaris, and exotic culture and food. However, the region's tourism industry came to a near standstill as the COVID-19 pandemic spread across the region in early 2020. As such, Africa was by and large and spread the worst of the pandemic, owing to the efforts of the national African governments to tackle and spread the pandemic during the high peaks through measures like tight lockdowns and the closure of African borders. Closing the international borders across the continent impacted cross-border movements, including the international tourism. The United Nations World Tourism Organization in its report cites that international tourists in Africa decreased by 35% between January and April 2020 itself as a result of pandemic. Countries such as Gambia, South Africa, Egypt, Kenya, and host of others are heavily dependent on international tourism, witnessed by dwindling injections of tourism-based foreign income and inflows. The closure of tourism business such as hotels, attractions, travel and tour operators, food and beverages services, and other support businesses result in massive job losses across Africa. That I said, I'm happy to state that one can see now the light at the end of the tunnel. The United Nations World Trade Organization indicates that the confidence in recovery of tourism in Africa remains strong compared to the other regions in the world. The optimism is given the greater for post-pandemic period. According to one study, by 2030, consumers spending on tourism, hospitality, recreation in Africa has projected to reach about 261 billion US dollars, which will be more than 137 billion spent in year 2015. However, the real recovery will only be possible if international tourism returns. This requires global cooperation and evidence-based solutions so that the travel restrictions can be safely lifted. In order to build more resilient and sustainable tourism, strengthening cooperation within and between the countries is very important. Coordination across countries and governments at all levels and private sectors is essential. Governments would need to consider long-term implications of crisis while capitalizing on the digitalization, supporting a low-carbon transition, and promoting the structural transformation needed to build a stronger, more sustainable, and resilient tourism economy. India, as home of large service industries, such as forerunner in digital technologies, is well placed to assist African countries in developing technology-driven site searches, bookings of tickets, check-ins, biometric-based validation, and a potential upgradation of digital infrastructure in tourism. Strong digital presence will allow any African tourism destination to be on the screens of the 4.6 billion connected people across the world. UNWTO estimates 1.4 billion international travelers annually, with the vast majority coming out of pool of connected people. But African countries would have to bridge the gaps in digital infrastructure, the skill-based of tourism industry. While African governments and industries need to urgently look together to accelerate the efforts on these fronts, India would step up the cooperation to African countries and expectation to skill-based in the space. The new normal that we are come to terms is with also spawning new avenues of business. Investments in this technology will play an increasing role in leveraging the business opportunities. There's a huge opportunity to promote Africa's great tourist destinations in India. It is expected that one of this pandemic is reigned in Indian travelers will once embark for holidays to distant lands, drawing a great of many African indeed countries is a great opportunity. I would like to invite the fellow speakers from Africa to showcase the tourism opportunities in their respective countries in Africa and the areas of collaboration. Thank you. I would like I would now invite Mr. Givmore Shidizizi, sorry for the pronunciation if I'm wrong, Acting Chief Executive, Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, to give his presentation. Mr. Sidzizi is responsible for the day-to-day running of Zimbabwe Tourism Authority and leads a team of 140 members to preside over one of the most strategic economic sectors in the country. He joined the tourism industry straight from the university in 1986, starting his career as Assistant Research and Planning Officer in then the Zimbabwe Tourist Development Corporation. Over to you, Mr. Zidizi. And I'm again very sorry if I pronounce your name not correctly. Please apologize me for that. Over to you, sir.
It's Mr. Chandiran, it seems there's some network issue. Network issue.
As Zimbabwe, we have been participating for quite some time. I think every year we have not missed, but because of this pandemic, obviously it has been a problem for us to be participating. I hope Mr. Kuma has got my video that I would want to play at some stage. But to start with, I think I need to share my presentation. I'll go through it very quickly. I know I've got maybe under 5 minutes to make a presentation, then another 3 minutes to show a video. So if you could allow me to share my screen, I hope we can all see the screen. I'll go into the presentation because of the time constraints. Let me recognize the fact that we are meeting in this pandemic. You have just, Mr. Chairman, outlined the impacts and what COVID-19 has done to the tourism sector. And it's like we are all beginning again. It's almost like going back to factory settings. Everyone has got to start afresh. So with us in Zimbabwe, for those that might not know, Zimbabwe is a republic which is located in southern Africa between the Zambezi and Limpopo rivers, neighboring on South Africa, Botswana. I need to recognize my sister from Botswana. I saw her, she's on the panel. And also then we've got Zambia and Mozambique. And the capital city of Zimbabwe being Harare, we've got a population which is at the last census 15 million. And the surface area of the country is 390,000 square kilometers, with 16 languages being spoken in the country, of which English, Shona, and Ndebele are the most widely spoken. Now, just to give a perspective, on this map you are seeing, I hope everyone can see the presentation. You are seeing that India and Zimbabwe, we are located in different hemispheres. Hence, I had a bit of a problem also the time zones, trying to calculate the time and trying to join at the right time. But I'm happy I managed to. That displacement really means quite a lot in terms of us to come up with strategies to promote Zimbabwe in India. But I need to also quickly mention that the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, as you introduced me, falls under a Ministry of Environment, Climate, Tourism and Hospitality Industry, alongside other sister parastatals, which are responsible for environment, and then the parks and wildlife, forestry, and a company that deals with timber, allied timbers, mostly for development. And all these are ready to work and interact with their Indian counterparts, and obviously counterparts from the rest of the world, to exploit the opportunities that are there in Zimbabwe for tourism and for other sectors. You talked about the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority. I will not touch on that, but to say that tourism has been placed as one of the priority sectors, especially as we are looking at post-COVID recovery, and our government is working on a new development strategy, which is the National Development Strategy 1, that is our economic blueprint, which is talking to the Vision 2030, where Zimbabwe is aiming to be an upper middle income society by year 2030. This strategy, which was launched by His Excellency the President, is actually the blueprint that we are working on, and it emphasizes that no one or no place must be left behind, and that gives a lot of potential for business people. The sector in Zimbabwe, the tourism sector, is so well organized with the parent ministries, and then we've got a tourism business council, through which anyone who wants to deal with Zimbabwe can enter into the tourism sector, whether it is for generating more traffic or for investment purposes. And when we are marketing Zimbabwe, we've got a campaign right now, Visit Zimbabwe, a World of Wonders campaign, and that is premised on what we term the 10 reasons to visit Zimbabwe. This is how we are positioning ourselves post-COVID to talk about our peace, safety, and security, our wonderful people and culture. We will see most of these when the video is being played. And then, obviously, our beautiful weather. Zimbabwe has received quite a number of endorsements. If it were not for COVID, I think we would have acquired even more or gained a little more recognition from the likes of the Lonely Planet, National Geographic, and the Telegraph, and so on. The list is quite numerous. But COVID has not spared Zimbabwe. COVID-19. When the UNWTO was projecting that international tourism would decline by between 80 and 90% and loss of revenue, Zimbabwe has not been spared. And we were talking of also a decline in tourist arrival of 60 to 80%, a decline which has led to a loss of revenue to the tune of between $500 million to $1 billion. But in terms of the visitor arrivals, obviously, like any destination, we've seen visitors declining to a total of minus 72%, with markets like Asia and Oceania going down by 86 and 87% respectively. So we've recorded declines in all the markets. And we are hoping that, obviously, with all the impacts of tourism that we all know, the closures of ports of entry and negative media in terms of the slowdown general of economic activity, we are hoping for a rebound and that everyone will be traveling again soon. And following the outbreak of COVID-19, and as we went and saw the impact, the government of Zimbabwe, led by the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority and the business sector, came up with the National Tourism Recovery and Growth Strategy, which strategy was launched in August 2020, and it provides a roadmap for us to recover. And it's aimed at providing relief packages to affected tourism businesses, the usual cushioning that the industry needs, but more so to come up with strategies of regaining or rebounding as a tourism sector. So the strategy is premised on the demand side strategies and the supply side. And the demand side here, we're really talking about the markets themselves. And we are looking at bending our destination and the image transformation. We have embarked on serious digital marketing campaign and an international media campaign. But what we have also noticed that because international and regional tourism is going to take a while to recover, we are focusing on domestic tourism promotion, and then we'll go into the regional and diaspora tourism promotion. Right now, your nationals are the ones that are normally allowed to come and visit your country or to travel back to your country. And then we're also looking at promotion of meetings, incentives, conferences, exhibition. That is the MICE tourism. Then we will look at the international tourism promotion, which will then come, we know, later. And on the supply side, we're looking at tourism industry rescue package. And then as we are taking a break in tourism industry, we thought it is time also to scale up and to up our game in terms of service excellence, preparing our people for receiving visitors when the time comes and those that are coming now. And then looking at what new tourism products we can develop. I can give an example. We've got a lot of wilderness areas within Zimbabwe, and our people are going into those areas, seeing what attractions are there that can be further developed, and we are promoting tourism investment in our sector. And in that regard, what we are, reason why we are actually participating here is to try and interest those that want to participate in our tourism sector as investors or as operators. And then the other issue is improving destination access. We know we are a long-haul destination for India, for Europe, and other markets, the Americas, and access becomes very critical. And in this regard, we are also working very seriously to attract visitors. What opportunities are there in the tourism sector? We are looking at the development of accommodation facilities. We are looking at integrated resorts. We've got various areas that are being opened up for investors. And with India, we are really talking about medical and health or wellness tourism. We know India is very much ahead of every other country in this regard. And we are very open for such areas, in terms of investment. Then amusement parks, themed restaurants, shopping malls, but more so conference and convention centers. Zimbabwe is seriously under-hoteled, under-conferenced, and we need to look at developing those areas. So we are taking this time really to take stock of what we have, what we don't have, and presenting these opportunities to everyone. Zimbabwe is the safest area I talked about 20% of that area is all reserved for conservation and wildlife. I think 13% comprises the national parks estate, where you've got all the wildlife you can think of on the African continent, and vast investment opportunities and opportunities for visitor activities. And the other area we are really focusing on is financing tourism infrastructure development and other capital investments. So there are opportunities here for tourism infrastructure development and funding or financing tourism investments. We're talking about rescue packages, those that have got resources want to put into Zimbabwe. We are looking at creating a tourism revolving fund. And I know there are bankers that are in this conference that are looking at some places where they can invest their financial resources. Zimbabwe is looking for lines of credit for the tourism industry. And these are some of the opportunities that we have. I'd like to thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know I can take up the whole conference talking about Zimbabwe, but for now, I think if Mr. Kuma is ready with a very short video just to give people an idea of what Zimbabwe is all about, he can play that video.
CIIT team, can you please play the video?
Did you manage to upload it for me? Thank you.
Zimbabwe is not just a country, not just a place. It's much, much more than that. It's the sound of the birds early in the morning as the sun rises. It's the people you meet and the smiles no matter where you go. Our rich history, culture, and heritage. Our vibrant art, music, and creativity. Our mighty rivers. Cascading waterfalls. And enormous lakes. It's our pristine wildlife and nature, still so wild and untamed. From the rolling mystical mountains and dense forests of the Eastern Highlands, down to the breathtaking beauty of the Lowveld and the vast floodplains of the Zambezi Valley, across to the balancing rocks of the Matopos. Animals still wild and roaming free. It's the feeling of inner peace and relaxation. It's the rush you get from the endless adventure opportunities. It's the true beauty of a Zimbabwean. It's the memories that will last forever. Zimbabwe is a feeling. Zimbabwe is a world of wonders.
Very nice.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your very nice presentation and the video. Now I would like to invite Mr. Helder Marcelino from Ministry of Tourism in Angola. Mr. Helder Marcelino got his degree in economics from the University of Agoncito Neto in Angola and the University of Lisbon in Portugal. He worked as program advisor and for non-governmental organizations and as a university professor. Mr. Helder Marcelino, please.
Thank you. Obrigado. I'm not so fluent in English, so my colleague, I'm gonna speak in Portuguese, and my colleague Gracinda de Souza will support us with translation. Eu começo por agradecer a oportunidade de estar a participar neste evento para, em nome do Ministro da Cultura, Turismo e Ambiente da República de Angola, proferir algumas palavras referentes às potencialidades turísticas do nosso país.
I would like to start by thanking you for the opportunity to participate in this event, representing the Minister of Culture, Tourism and Environment of the Republic of Angola, to speak about the tourism potential in our country.
Angola é país do sul da África, com território que abrange as praias tropicais do Oceano Atlântico, além de possuir outros recursos naturais, como os rios e deserto subsaariano que se estende até a Namíbia.
Angola is a country in the south of Africa with a common territory that covers tropical beaches of the Atlantic Ocean, apart from having natural resources like rivers and the sub-Saharan desert that extends to Namibia.
O seu território integra uma costa marítima de 1.650 quilômetros de norte a sul, e a sua superfície é de 1.246.700 quilômetros.
Its territory integrates a maritime coast of 1,650 kilometers from north to south, and its surface is of 1,246,700 kilometers squared.
O nosso passado colonial tem reflexos na gastronomia do país, bastante influenciada pela cozinha portuguesa.
Our colonial past reflects the gastronomic influences in our country, which is greatly influenced by the Portuguese culinary.
Quanto ao turismo, sem a presença da pandemia Covid-19, os angolanos representavam cerca de 2/3 do turismo do país. 3 mercados-chave alavancavam o turismo em Angola, bastante alicerçado nas relações econômicas e no turismo de negócios, nomeadamente os mercados de Portugal, com 24%, a China, com 14%, Brasil, com 13%, seguindo-se outros como a África do Sul, 7%, França, 6%, Reino Unido, com 4% e outros.
As for tourism, in non-COVID times, Angolans represented about 2/3 of tourism in the country. 3 key markets leverage tourism in Angola, heavily grounded in the economic relations and in tourism, namely Portugal, 24%, China, 14%, Brazil, 13%, followed by South Africa with 7%, France, 6%, and the United Kingdom, 4%, and others.
Luanda, a cidade capital, destaca-se na oferta de alojamentos, gerando cerca de 84% da receita do turismo, seguida das cidades da Huila e Benguela. As demais províncias, principalmente as do interior, apesar do enorme potencial turístico que revelam, têm uma oferta reduzida de alojamento e, consequentemente, receitas turísticas menores devido à falta de investimentos.
Luanda, the capital city, stands out in accommodation offers, generating about 84% of the tourism income, followed by Huila and Benguela province. The other provinces, especially in the interior, although they represent great tourism potential, present a reduced offer and consequently lower tourism income due to the lack of investment.
Referimos-nos à província desértica do Namibe, com potencialidades para o turismo de sol e mar, cultura mumuila, ecoturismo, etc., Malange, a terra das quedas de Calandula e do Parque Nacional de Cangandala, o habitat natural da Palanca Negra Gigante, província do Cuando-Cubango, considerado o santuário da biodiversidade e configura e enriquece a região transfronteiriça do Okavango. A província do Zaire, cuja capital, Mbanza Congo, foi elevada a patrimônio da humanidade, carecendo de investimento turístico para a capitalização do turismo de história e cultura, entre outros.
Referring to our desert province of Namib, with the potential for the sun, sea, and sand, culture, ecotourism, etc., the land of the Kangandala Falls and our National Park of Kangandala, natural habitat of the giant black sable, Cuando-Cubango, considered the sanctuary of biodiversity that configures and enriches the cross-border region of the Okavango. The province of Zaire, which its capital was elevated to be a heritage of humanity, need investment in the tourism sector to capitalize historic, cultural tourism apart from others.
Do ponto de vista estratégico, continua válida a visão contida no Plano Diretor do Turismo de Angola em vigor, pelo facto de ainda serem atuais os desafios identificados no momento da sua elaboração, tais como:
From a strategic point, the vision contained in the Angolan Tourism Master Plan continues to be valid due to the fact that the challenges identified when the document was being drawn still remain, such as
a necessidade de ser adotada uma abordagem do mercado turístico de forma segmentada em turismo doméstico, turismo regional e turismo internacional nessa ordem.
the need to adopt a segmented approach to the tourism market as domestic, regional, and international, especially in this order.
A necessidade de diversificação e captação de novos mercados através da promoção de ofertas consistentes e ajustadas às etapas de desenvolvimento recomendadas.
The need to diversify the caption of new markets through the promotion of consistent offers adjusted to the development stages recommended.
A aposta na diferenciação e numa lógica de complementariedade regional.
The need to differentiate in a logic and complementary region.
O asseguramento da maximização dos seus principais ativos, tais como a juventude, cultura e tradição, costa marítima e os recursos naturais.
Make sure that its actives are maximized, such as the youth, culture and tradition, maritime coast, and natural resources.
A necessidade de aumentar a qualidade dos serviços no setor e do ambiente para a realização do turismo em condições de bom acolhimento.
The need to strengthen the quality of services in the hospitality sector as well as environment in order to have tourism in great conditions.
A estratégia de desenvolvimento do turismo de Angola assenta nas prioridades, regiões e polos de desenvolvimento turístico em curso. Aqui queremos dar ênfase particular às necessidades de investimento privado nos seguintes polos de desenvolvimento turístico.
The strategic development of tourism in Angola is based on priorities of region and tourism hubs in progress. Here, we would like to emphasize in particular the necessity of private investment in the following tourism hubs.
Polo de Desenvolvimento Turístico de Cabo Ledo.
Tourism Hub of Cabo Ledo.
Localiza-se no município da Kisama, província de Luanda. Ocupa uma área de 1.320 hectares em pleno Parque Nacional da Kisama. A sua atração principal é a zona balnear, com 120 km de extensão, possui condições propícias para pesca e surf, a vastidão das praias, das suas águas límpidas e a beleza das imensas falésias junto à extensa faixa de areia branca tornam este local bastante deslumbrante. Cabo Ledo fica a aproximadamente 1 hora e 30 minutos de Luanda.
Located in the municipality of Kisama in Luanda province, it occupies an area of 1,320 kilometers with the National Park of Kisama. Its main attraction is the seaside, which covers 120 kilometers, and it serves perfectly for fishing and surf. The clear waters and the beauty of the beaches, with the extension of white sand, is very beautiful. Cabo Ledo is approximately 1 hour and 30 minutes from Luanda.
Polo de Desenvolvimento Turístico de Okavango.
Tourist Development Hub of Okavango.
Localiza-se no município do Dirico, província do Cuando-Cubango. Ocupa uma área de 11.972 hectares. Tem como atração principal a biodiversidade, que é partilhada com a região transfronteiriça do Okavango-Zambeze. De salientar que o rio Okavango nasce nos planaltos do interior angolano e desagua no maior delta interior do mundo, no Botsuana. O delta cobre uma superfície entre 15.000 km² a 22.000 km² durante as cheias. Existe nele a única população de leões nadadores que os permite sobreviver às cheias, que chegam a cobrir 70% do seu território natural.
Tourism Development Hub of Okavango is located in the municipality of Dirico, province of Cuando-Cubango. It occupies an area of 11,972 hectares. Its main attraction is the biodiversity, which is shared with which borders the Okavango-Zambeze. We would like to emphasize that the Okavango River goes through the delta interior of Botswana, and it covers 15,000 kilometers squared and 22,000 kilometers squared during sorry.
That's a full rain.
Okay, we would like to also emphasize that in this area, there are swimming lions which permit them to live through overflowing rivers when the territory is natural.
Polo de Desenvolvimento Turístico de Calandula. Localizado no município de Calandula, província de Malange, ocupa uma área de 1.977 hectares. A sua atração principal são as quedas de água de Calandula. As quedas de Calandula estão localizadas no rio Lucala, o mais importante afluente do rio Kwanza, e situam-se a cerca de 80 km da cidade de Malange e a 480 km de Luanda. Com uma extensão de 410 metros e uma altura de 105 metros, são as segundas maiores de África, depois das quedas Vitória, na fronteira entre a Zâmbia e o Zimbábue. Um estudo realizado... Bom, acho que para ainda aí.
Tourism Hub of Calandula is located in the municipality of Calandula, province of Malange. It occupies 1,977.49 hectares. Its main attraction is the Calandula Falls. Calandula Falls are located in Lucala River, the most important and affluent river in the Kwanza, and situated about 80 kilometers from the city of Malange and 420 kilometers from Luanda. With its extension of 410 meters and height of 105 meters, it is the second biggest fall in Africa, after the Victoria Fall between Zambia and Zimbabwe.
Estudo realizado recentemente sobre a cadeia de valor do turismo de Angola permitiu identificar as oportunidades de investimento para os diferentes polos de desenvolvimento turístico que eu resumo a seguir.
A study that was made recently about the value chain of tourism in Angola permitted us to identify the opportunities of investment for the different tourism hubs, which I'm about to enlist.
Construção de eco-resorts, restaurantes e eco-lodges em Cabo Ledo, Okavango, Calandula, Benguela e Tomba, no Namibe, para aumentar e diversificar a oferta.
The construction of eco-resorts, restaurants, and eco-lodges in Cabo Ledo, Okavango, Calandula, Benguela, and Tombua in the Namibe province to grow and diversify the offer.
Construção de hotel-escola para formação especializada no país.
The construction of hospitality schools in order to train for specialized training in the country.
Criação de agências de viagens.
The creation of travel agencies.
Criação de operadores de autocarros para aumentar a oferta de transportes terrestres.
The need to create more tourism operators to outgrow the need of transportation in the territory.
Criação de parques aquáticos.
The creation of water parks.
Criação de teleférico em Calandula para diversificar experiências.
The creation of telepherics in the Calandula area to diversify experiences.
Criação de operador de excursão de helicópteros em Calandula e Okavango.
The creation of helicopter excursions in the Calandula and Okavango area.
Criação de operador de desportos no deserto.
Creation of sports creator for desert activities.
Construção de hotel em Banza, Congo.
The construction of a hotel in Banza, Congo.
Só para citar estas oportunidades.
Just to cite these opportunities.
Termino por aqui e muito obrigado pela vossa atenção.
I would like to end here and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marcelino, for enlightening us on Angola tourism and the opportunities of the land. Certainly, we will try and spread this information to maximum people to bring investments in Angola. Thanks a lot. Before I go ahead, I would like to request all the guests to be brief in their presentation in interest of time. We were supposed to have this call just for an hour, so please try and be brief in your presentation. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Subhash Goyal, the chairman of STIC Travel Group, member of National Tourism Advisory Council to Ministry of Tourism of Government of India, founder and director of Ethiopian Cultural Center and Ethiopian Embassy in Delhi. STIC Travel and Charter Group is one of India's biggest B2B travel group, established in 1973, representing 10 airlines and 3 cruise companies and 3 rental cars. Mr. Goyal, please, if you can start your presentation.
Thank you very much. Anil, it's a pleasure to be with you and share the forum with you. You're doing a great job in Africa and we are proud of you. Friends, what can we all do to bring tourism between India and Africa closer to each other? Distinguished representatives of the tourism boards of Zimbabwe, Angola, Egypt, Tanzania, Botswana, these are beautiful countries, but somehow Indian tourists are not going there. I'll just give you some basic figures. You know, last year, about 25 million Indian tourists travel abroad.
Excuse me, Subhash. Ethiopia is also part of this discussion, and I'm sure we'll get a few minutes to present later on. I thank you so much. Sorry for the interruption.
The program, Ethiopia was not mentioned, but Ethiopia is my first love, and Ethiopia is the gateway to whole of Africa. In fact, I need to talk about that, and I thought I'll mention that in the last. I kept the best for the last. So having said that, you see, there are, 25 million people and who went abroad. And according to Singapore Tourism Board, we were the largest, shoppers in Singapore. We were number one in Malaysia, number one in Sri Lanka, number one in Switzerland, and number one in Dubai. In Thailand, we were number two because there are about 38,000 Japanese who live there. And so they were counted, even if they buy fish, they were counted as number one. So unfortunately, you see, maybe because not enough marketing has been done. From Ethiopian Airlines, we are trying to do our best to promote whole of Africa, not just Ethiopia, because Ethiopia, through Ethiopian Airlines, covers most of the 54 countries of Africa. And we have been connecting, and we have in Ethiopian Airlines been promoting, all the countries. We have complete information on the tourism potential. My only, because time is short and I don't want to take more time, I will just mention a few points which will enable India and Africa through Ethiopian Airlines to become closer to each other. So first is that, Ethiopia, when they didn't have e-visa or visa on arrival, the moment they announced e-visa and visa on arrival, all our flights from, India, we had one flight a day from Mumbai that went up to 2 flights a day. We had one flight a day from Delhi that one went up to 2 flights a day. And now we've started out of Bangalore and Hyderabad before COVID-19, right? So it's a great, way to connect, because there are 3 things that are needed in tourism: access, infrastructure, and marketing. So as far as access is concerned and marketing is concerned, you can use Ethiopian Airlines. Why? It is through Ethiopian Airlines. I went to Tanzania for the first time. I went to Egypt. I haven't been to Zimbabwe and Botswana, but we have sent tourists there, and we really feel it's a beautiful country. You can combine your destination with Ethiopia, because it is, the cradle of civilization. It is one of the sources of River Nile. It has, what you can say,
Lucy. We have Lucy.
Lucy, the most ancient, the origin of human beings. And more important, what I've been telling my Indian friends is, for thousands and thousands of years, Jews, Christians, and Muslims have been living together, not just in one community, but as one family. And one brother could be a Christian, the other could be a Jew. So that is the religious tolerance which I tell India to learn from the great civilization of Ethiopia. Having said that, I think what needs to be done, just like Ethiopia did, that you must have e-tourist visas for Indians, number one. Number two, you must, have marketing. Today, whether it is Singapore Tourism Board, Thailand Tourism Board, Malaysian Tourism Board, UK, British Tourism Board, German Tourism Board, you name the country which wants tourists, have a marketing setup, in India. And in Thailand alone, we have about 1.5 million tourists going from India to, Thailand. Similarly, more than 1 million going to Singapore and Southeast Asia. And same is the case with UAE. I think today, virtually most of the hotels and the tourism infrastructure is supported by tourists. So we are very keen to, promote Africa. I mean, we have 40 offices in all the major cities of India through CII and through Ethiopian Airlines. We can market any of the destination via this. I think there is a great opportunity. And you see, out of these 25 million who went outbound, last year, before this COVID-19, 2019, about 75 million people traveled within India by air. So these are all potential outbound travelers. And the domestic tourism in India is more than 300 million. So it is a huge market. And even compared to China, Indians spend much more than the Chinese tourists. This is a established fact. So if any of the tourism boards wants to do anything in India, we are there through Ethiopian Airlines because we have Ethiopian airline offices all over the country, and we can really market Africa in a big way. We are there to support you, and I think CII has the Indo-Africa Summit every year, and CII is the premier organization. Even if you want investment opportunities in tourism in Angola, in Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Botswana, or any other country, what you need to do is you have to have a one-window clearance. Within 30 days, a project should be accepted or rejected. And I think through CII, you can organize an tourism investors meet also. They have the connections with the who's who of the Indian investment and Indian business people. So I think I don't want to take more time because I think we are already running way behind schedule. Thank you, Anil, for giving me this opportunity. And I'm there. My email is there with CII@stickgroup.com. Unfortunately, I have another meeting, so I'll not be able to stay till the end. But any questions or anything that anyone has through CII, I can get it because CII will be recording the proceedings. I'll see them, and whatever feedback, whatever help is needed. I'm also, being the president of the Indian tourism industry and president of the Indian Tourism Confederation of Professionals, and have been Secretary General of Faith and Chairman of India Tourism Mart 21, where we have been inviting people from Africa free of cost to India for having an interaction with Indian tour operators. We are ready to do that again, and we are there at your service. Thank you, CII, and thank you, Anil, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, and God bless Africa and God bless India during these COVID times. Thank you very much.
Mr. Goyal. It's very nice to hear from a legend like you in travel industry. And I really appreciate your time, and I understand that you have other commitments, so that's no problem.
I'm really feeling bad because Africa, my heart is in Africa.
Certainly.
You are in Africa,
Thank
but
you.
my heart is in Africa. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Anil. Thanks for giving me, preponing my speech. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Ismail Abel Hamed, Inbound Tourism Manager of Egyptian Tourism Authority, to give his presentation. Mr. Amer joined the Ministry of Tourism as a tourism specialist at Egyptian Tourism Promotion Board in year 2000. He served as media representative of the ETPB from 2006 to 2007, representative of Egyptian tourism. He also served in various capacities at the different Egyptian embassies and consulates between 2007 and 2011 and 2014 to 2019. Mr. Abel, it's for you to please present now. Thank you.
Mr. Shindrani, and thanks for Mr. Subash Goyal for his nice insights about the opportunities of having the cooperation between the African countries. Actually, I feel it's not that it's not odd at all having Africa and India in the same context discussing the tourism business, because I know that I'm not sure if you heard of that or know that Africa and India used to be once one continent. Maybe if you, I heard that first time from the legendary superstar Amitabh Bachchan when he was in Cairo. Actually, I felt it myself because I stayed in India for 4 years, and actually I felt not far from home. And now, actually, I'm addicted to the masala tea, and I have a problem actually securing it here in Cairo because it's not
it's not that much popular here. So I'm talking from heart today. I'm not preparing a kind of a document anyway. I have a presentation. But before that, I'd like to talk about the opportunities of cooperation between African countries and how this can be a good opportunity for long-haul destination, for long-haul markets, especially from the United States and from Canada, Australia, and Japan. I believe that Africa can introduce one of the best and the richest experiences for the whole globe to see how this continent is diversified and how it can offer a magnificent experience for those who are seeking for adventure and for entertainment and for different experiences and different cultures. If you allow me to share my screen. Would you kindly confirm that you can see my screen now?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So here, what I was talking about actually about the outbound tourism expenditure from across the globe. We can see here that main countries who are investing a lot or who are spending a lot in tourism are coming from very far markets like United States, for example, like Brazil, like Canada, Australia, and China. So I believe those people, when they travel a long distance to any of the African countries, they want to see much more than one attraction or two attractions. In that case, I believe the integration between the African countries is fundamental and is crucial to achieve this. We can say that Egypt is the gate of Africa to Europe and to Asia. We are the only African Asian country in the world, so we can be a bridge between the Asian and European traffic of tourism to Africa. How we can do that? We can develop, and actually Egypt is working on developing railroads, highways with our neighbor countries on the Nile Basin and on other African and with other African countries as well. We believe that our African depth is one of the most important resources for Egypt to as one of, I mean, this is the main or one of the most important cycles that we have. Actually, Egypt has different cycles. We are a Mediterranean country, we are an Asian country, we are an African country, we are an Arab country, we are a MENA country, but the African dimension is one of the most important dimensions for us. And we are actually working on that regard. So about the situation now in Egypt, what I mean in the world first, what is the importance of tourism to Europe and sorry to the world and to Egypt in particular? We can see here that the tourism contribution is very huge for everybody actually across the globe, not only in Egypt or in Africa, but across the globe actually. I hope you can see all the figures. It's self-explanation. And here is the drastic effect of the COVID-19 and how it affected the tourism business. These figures are as reported in March 2021. This is how the economy in the global economy is suffering from tourism loss. You can see here that in Africa we have lost minus 49% of the revenues from tourism, and we have received and we have lost almost 7.2 million jobs only in tourism business and related businesses. how tourism is important for Egypt. It's a very significant sector for Egypt. Egypt is well known for its heritage, for beaches, and for a kind of mixture between uniqueness and variety. So we build a lot on tourism. So and we know that it contributes with huge and with significant share of our GDP, almost 11%. And also it helped in the tourism revenues by almost 13 billion US dollars in 2019. Above and beyond, it helps in adding reducing inflation. It helps in getting foreign currency. It helps in securing securing jobs for labor, and also it helps to enhance the environment. And this is very important point, that tourism, it helps the local communities to mitigate the problems and to enhance their local environment. Sorry. Okay, so this is the revenue of Egypt from tourism, and it was we had a peak in 2010 of 12.5, then it reduced for some time, then it came back again to reach 12.6 billion US dollars in 2019. Arrivals from our beloved country, India, in 2014, actually it was the bottom of the figures, only 60,000 tourists. Then it started to grow up till it reached 128,000 tourists in 2019. The Indian tourists are very important for us, not in terms of numbers, but in terms of engagement, because we know that the Indian tourists, they do not stay only on the beach resorts away from the locals, but they engage with the local communities. They spend money in markets, in local markets, in local shops, and they eat in local restaurants. So this is the kind of quality tourism that we seek for. We seek for full engagement and full relationship with our visitors, rather than just having them on a remote beaches. The situation now, we learn from each other what we can do with the COVID and the situation of COVID in each country. This is the last update as of today about the new cases in Egypt, and you can see here that we had 3 peaks, and now we finished the 3rd peak. Alhamdulillah, thanks to God, and the figures are very low in that term. How we dealt with the problem? We passed by different phases. The first one was just the evacuation and halting the running promotional activities. You know, a full crisis management approach to help the tourists who have been in Egypt to return back safely to their countries, and to mitigate the aftermaths of the problem. Then we started to prepare ourselves. That was in April-May 2020. We started to implement new technologies for daily communication process, like the virtual tools, like social media. We started to work on having a new scheme for health procedures that has to be implemented in all the tourism areas. And also we have adopted contingency support initiatives to subsidize the labor force and investors in tourism field to overcome the crisis. Starting from 15 May till end of June 2020, we started to gradually test our measurements and our procedures, how it's effective, how it's running properly. And we started with 25% of the occupancy rate of all tourism sites, hotels, aircrafts, and then we have extended that ceiling up to 50%. And then starting from 1st of July onwards, we started to reopen the airports for international traffic from across the globe with, for sure, some certain procedures. Like any other country, we put the priorities for the markets according to the risk factor and according to the mutual agreements with each country. I hope that you will be able to see this graph. If not, please tell me that you cannot see it well. Thank you so much. I'll stop share now, and actually I don't want to take a lot of your time. I have a long presentation presentation, but I didn't want to take much more of your time. I know that we have some other precious presentations to be offered. All what I want to say that in Egypt, we are very keen to develop our relations with African countries, both as tourists and as co-partners. In that regard, in Egyptian Tourism Board, we have created two central units to deal with the tourism business in Africa. One of them is for the North Africa, and the other one is for the southern part of Africa. And we are very keen to develop this relation. On the other side, actually, I hope, and this is my humble request to CII, to consider converting this great gathering into a yearly convention for discussing in further details how to enhance and how to develop the relations between India and Africa in all aspects, including tourism for sure. Thank you so much, and thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. And I would like to invite now Mr. Felix John from the manager of Tanzania Tourism Board. My request once again, please try and be brief, because this call was supposed to be of 1 hour. We are already 1 hour, 15 minutes, and it looks like it's going to take a lot longer. I know everyone is busy. People are requesting me to try and finish as soon as possible. Thank you very much, Mr. Felix. Please, over to you, Mr. Felix John. We can hear you. You can speak, Mr. Felix. Yeah.
Thank you. I'll try to be as brief as possible. Good afternoon to everybody. It is afternoon in Tanzania. To start with, I'm Felix John, as introduced. I'm from the Tanzania Tourist Board, the body that is mandated to promote and develop. One will ask a simple question. Country, it is located in the eastern part of Africa. It is therefore a member of the East African Community with an area of 945,090 square kilometers. It constitutes 38% of the total East African Community area. To be rather precise, Tanzania is the 13th largest country in Africa. It is also the 31st country in the world. Allow me to share some key facts. Tanzania has over 120 different ethnic groups which exhibit the greatest linguistic diversity in the whole of African continent. The diversity draws from 4 major African language bases, ranging from Bantu, Kushites, and Nilotics languages to the less comprehensively spoken Khoisan. They are all unified by the Swahili language. Swahili and English are the widely spoken languages in Tanzania. However, the tourism sector in Tanzania is full of experts who can fluently communicate in various international languages. Now coming to the topic of the day, the scope of tourism in Tanzania. Tanzania is endowed to have a number of tourist attractions. Talk of tourist attractions in Tanzania, they are categorized into 3 main categories. That is natural, cultural, and man-made. Natural attractions include mountains, parks, game reserve, coastal area, waterfalls, and lakes, while the cultural attractions include archaeological sites, historical sites, rock painting sites, arts, and crafts. We are also endowed to have man-made tourist attractions, which include museums, architecture, handcrafts, and even sports. Now, to be rather To be rather specific, on the natural attractions, Tanzania is endowed with several mountains, including the famous Mount Kilimanjaro, which all of you must have heard about, the Meru Mountain, Uluguru Mountain, just to mention few. In terms of national parks, Tanzania has a total of 22 national parks, including the largest, which is Nyerere National Parks, which we've currently embarked in popularizing. We also have Ruaha National Park and the famous Serengeti National Park. We also have more than 30 game reserves and game controlled area. Tanzania has over 1,424 kilometers of the coastline. We also have several waterfalls, including the famous Kalambo, which is shared by two countries, that is part of which is in Zambia and part of which is in Tanzania. We also have Mount Kipengere waterfall. We have several lakes, but key among them, Lake Victoria, Lake Tanganyika, and Lake Nyasa, just to mention few. In terms of cultural attractions, we have archaeological sites, which include the Olduvai Gorge, Laitoli in Dodoma, and many others. In terms of historical sites, they include Kondoa Irangi, rock paintings, the Amboni Caves, Mji Mkongwe in Zanzibar, and we also have the Swahili language, which has recently been adopted as an official language in the East African Community, SADC, and the African Union. Now, talk of the attractions themselves. In terms of sailing, we usually say that Tanzania is the highest and the lowest point. So while in Tanzania, when we say the highest point, we are talking about the famous Mount Kilimanjaro, whose height is about 5,895 meters above the sea level. It's the roof of Africa. We also have Ngorongoro crater, which offers an excellent area for animal viewing, birds viewing, and even filming and photographing. We also have, next. We also have beautiful beaches in Zanzibar, very beautiful beaches in Zanzibar, which cannot be found anywhere else in the world, as you must have heard. We also have gemstones like tanzanite, which are only found in Tanzania and nowhere else in the world. So Tanzania is the home to the largest and deepest lakes in Africa, like Lake Tanganyika, which I've already mentioned. It's a home to Olduvai Gorge that holds the earliest evidence of existence of human ancestors. So ladies and gentlemen, it is also believed that all of you originated in Tanzania, because the earliest man to have ever existed in the world can be traced in Tanzania. If you visit Serengeti National Park, you'll be privileged to witness the wild beast migration, which is part of the ecological movement. You'll see the wild, the zebras, and other animals moving from Tanzania, crossing the Mara River to Kenya, to the neighboring country of Kenya. We also have the Ngorongoro crater, which is one of the 8 wonders of the world. Now, you'll ask yourself, why would you make a decision to visit Tanzania? We are the safest and political stability country. We are among the top 3 African destinations, of which consumers from France, German, India, Italy, UK, and USA have shown most interest for post-COVID-19 travel. We are highly rated for World Heritage, natural sites, impressive wildlife, and habitat protection, ranking 12th globally. That is according to the World Economic Forum report for 2020. We are an authentic African hospitality and friendly people. And above all, we are the most peaceful country in the world. Why is Tanzania unforgettable? You ask yourself the question. We have a number of products to offer, ranging from mountain climbing, wildlife safari, cultural tours, diving, beach and water-based sports, historical tours, wildlife hunting, nightlife, local food trails, nature tours, and shopping. Tanzania has an extensive selection of accommodation facilities to cater for different budgets and tastes, ranging from business to leisure and from 1 to 5-star hotels. International tourists arriving in 2019 was 1,527,000. Tourist receipt was USD 2.6 billion, and tourist contribution to the GDP was 17.2%. Tourism contributes about 25% of the total exports. It also generates about 1.5 million direct and indirect jobs. So you can imagine the contribution of tourism in our country. The top 10 countries in terms of arrival in Tanzania include the United States of America, United Kingdom, Italy, Germany, France, India, China, Netherlands, Canada, and Poland. Allow me to shed some light on the arrivals from India from 2014 to 2019. In 2014, we received 2017, we received 32,600. 2016, 69,876. 2017, 39,115. 2018 were 48,127. And 2019, just pre-COVID, we received a total of 36,161 tourists from India. Allow me to also share with you the entry points to Tanzania. I'll just mention the famous one. First one being Julius Nyerere International Airport, which is in Dar es Salaam. We have also the Mwanza International Airport, the Kilimanjaro International Airport, Abeid Aman Karume International Airport in Zanzibar. We have Mutukula border points and very many others. The potential areas for investments include, but not limited to, the area of accommodation facilities, where right now the number of beds in mainland Tanzania are 35,315. We therefore experience a shortage of accommodation facilities, particularly in the southern circuit, regions of Iringa, Mbeya, Songwe, Njombe, and Morogoro. Another area of investment is in the convention or conference facilities in the very southern circuit and the Lake Zone, and even in Zanzibar. Another area of investment is in human resources development, where we invite you to invest in capacity building to our operators, including tour guides, travel companies, and rangers. We're also inviting you to invest in improvement of coastal areas, in particular the beaches, in order to make them more competitive. As I personally earlier indicated, that the coastal area we have in Tanzania is about 1,424. Allow me to shed some light on the COVID status. Tanzania was not much affected by the corona pandemic. And under the leadership of the Sixth Faith government, Her Excellency Madam Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, the government took necessary measures to ensure that the spread is well contained. The government took another measure by coming up with the development of National Standard Operating Procedure, SOP, for the management of COVID-19 in the tourism business operations, and its subsequent promotion and implementation has instilled confidence in tourism, in tourists who choose Tanzania as a tourist destination. On the 11th of August 2020, Tanzania received the Safe Travel Stamp from World Travel and Tourism Council, which approved the measures taken by the government and tourism stakeholders in ensuring that both visitors and locals stay safe and healthy. Tanzania opened up its skies to international flights and passengers since June 2020. Major airlines in Tanzania include, but not limited to, the Ethiopian Airline, Qatar Airways, KLM, Emirates, Turkish Airlines have resumed the flights to Dar es Salaam, Zanzibar, and Kilimanjaro Airport. Tanzania tourist services are already in operation and practicing safety measures as per health authorities' guideline. We've also released a document which is titled Travel Advisory number 7, which was issued on 4th of May 2021, this very year. Among tourists who've come to Tanzania during this period include nationalities of Russia, USA, France, Germany, Sweden, Czech Republic, Switzerland, Israel, Spain, China, Japan, and South Korea. Next. Tanzania Tourist Board and Tanzania tourism stakeholders welcome partnership with India travel agents and tour operators who are willing to promote and sell Tanzania so that together we can create opportunities for increasing tourist traffic between our two countries. Please come and experience the vast array of unforgettable tourist attractions. Tanzania unforgettable. Why exactly do we say Tanzania is unforgettable? It's unforgettable because if you happen to visit, and I invite you to visit, one of the many tourist attractions that our country is endowed to have, and you'll have unforgettable experience. Before we run out of time, allow me to thank you all for listening. Thanks a lot. Welcome to Tanzania, Tanzania unforgettable.
Asante sana.
I hope I spent little time than expected.
Asante sana, Bwana Felix. I thank you very much for your presentation, and very nice to know about, in fact, I know about Tanzania because I've lived in Africa for 20 years, and I've lived in Tanzania also for some time, like about 6 months during the war in Rwanda. So I know it very well, and I know that it's a very nice country with a lot of diversity in tourism attractions. So thank you very much for that.
I'm also very much impressed that you know a bit of Swahili. So karibu sana Tanzania.
I can speak fluent Swahili.
Please speak it for a minute because I spent very little time.
Nashukuru sana.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the best interest of time.
Okay, asante sana man. Okay.
Asante.
Okay. Now I'd like to invite Ms. Kaitumitse Stelang, the Executive Manager Marketing Botswana Tourism, to give her presentation. Madam, please, you can start your presentation. Thank you. Is Ms. Setlang online? Can you please confirm if Ms. Setlang is online, or we can go to the next guest?
Yeah, she is there. She is there. I think she is logging in.
Okay.
Ms. Setlang, can you unmute yourself, please? You're on mute.
You have to unmute.
Yes, may I request that I be allowed to share my screen?
Sure.
Okay. Can you see something on that side? Oh, it's opening. Can you see something on your side?
Sure.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, gentlemen. This is Mrs. Satang from Botswana Tourism Organization, and I'm speaking following some very great speakers from Africa. And I realized that I'm the only woman in the list of speakers. So gentlemen, you are going to have to give me some bit of love. We start by giving you a general picture about who Botswana is in as far as tourism is concerned. We have a diverse tourism offering, and our tourism offering is based mainly on principles of sustainability, where we take care of the environment because that is what is giving us the product that we so much depend on for social development and for economic growth. So our policy in terms of tourism development really looks at, extracting value out of what we have in the environment, both the natural environment as well as the man-made product towards economic growth. Botswana has quite a number of tourist attractions as indicated on the map there, and I must indicate that we are at the center or in the middle of Southern Africa, surrounded by our brothers and sisters in Zimbabwe, Zambia, Namibia, and South Africa. So we are totally landlocked, but we prefer to call ourselves land-linked because we believe where we are positioned gives us an advantage to be able to link with our neighbors in as far as tourism is concerned. We share a number of resources. We are members of the Kavango-Zambezi arrangement with Angola as well, and Zimbabwe and Zambia, and therefore there's a lot that we have to share in as far as tourism is concerned. In fact, one of our destinations, the flagship in Botswana, being the Okavango Delta, is fed by water coming from Angola. And thank you very much, my colleague from Angola, you presented on this earlier. We depend on that water to be able to showcase or to show visitors to Botswana our attraction. Our product base is mainly wildlife. Culture and heritage also comes in second, and we are diversifying into sports and adventure, and also looking at growing our product into business tourism, the meetings, incentives, conferencing, and events. And activities and all our attractions include game drives, nature walks, boat cruises, hiking, leisure walks, Mokoro rides, Mokoro being the picture on the left of that slide.
We cannot see your presentation, ma'am. We are not able to see your presentation.
Hello?
Yeah, we cannot see your presentation. It's not visible.
It's not visible.
Yeah.
Kate, we are seeing the screen, but the PowerPoint is not running. Can you start your PowerPoint?
Is it not running?
Yes. Click your PowerPoint and let's see the PowerPoint.
You can't see anything yet?
Yeah. Now we
yes, now we can see. Now you need to run the slide so that we have a full screen. Slideshow.
Okay.
And Mr. Lang will request if you can, we are just running out of time, so we'll just request you.
Something?
Yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah, we can see the presentation.
Yes.
We can see the presentation, and we'll request that, we adhere to the time, we are just, overshot the time, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, no, that's fine.
That's the love you asked for. Thank you.
I've already spoken about the product base and the activities, and one of our destinations is the Okavango Delta, which is a heritage site. It is a home to about 400 birds and a number of large wildlife species, and the Zodilo, which is a rock outcrop, housing about 4,500 rock paintings, and it's 2,000 years old approximately. The Chobe National Park, which is the park in between Botswana, or in Botswana, but very close to Zimbabwe. This is a home to the Chobe River, where you get the most famous sundowners, the Makadi Pan, which is a very large 12,000 kilometer squared dry lake, which dried, we are told, approximately 10,000 years ago. And the Northern Tule Game Reserve, which is a very rocky area. You can see the diversity between our products. Some are very watery, while the others are very rocky. And the very sandy Kalahari, where we have the Kalahari Transfrontier Park, which is a measure between the park on the Botswana side and a park on the South African side. This is, you know, a wide area of sand dunes. We have wildlife here, and it's the home to the black maned lion. And some of our activities, and these are activities that we are diversifying into sports tourism, looking at desert race, the famous Toyota Desert Race, which is a feeder race into the Dakar Rally race. We do skydiving, and we do quite a number of other extreme sport events. And then in terms of visitations to Botswana post-COVID, we have developed COVID-19 protocols globally with WHO and the Ministry of Health inspired guidelines having been used to develop these SOPs. And then these protocols are strictly followed by both the hosts and the guests, and government does constant monitoring to ensure compliance to these standards. And our industry is fully involved in, you know, upholding and implementing these standards. Botswana is receiving guests from around the world. The only thing that's required is a 72-hour negative PR test. And connection is through South Africa, mainly Johannesburg, and then Ethiopian Airlines flying directly to Botswana, connecting the country with major destinations from around the world. And access into our destinations, particularly remote destinations, is by small planes, by vehicles and boats. And we are on a call or encouraging the world through private charters to ferry customers to Botswana. So those that may arrange a private charter will be facilitated by government to arrive in Botswana. There are investment opportunities in Botswana and dams, where we want developments around dams for restaurants, accommodation facilities, and recreational activities in places such as Shasha Dam, the Tune Dam, and Litsiboko Dam, and around the Tsodilo Hills and Tui Harbor. And there's the Gaborone Precinct development. We are looking at developments to sit on this 81-hectare plot, where we want to develop 5-star facilities and conference facilities, shopping facilities, as well as a recreational park. Another investment opportunity is available in the Chobe area, the Kasanika Zungula redevelopment project, which is a project that envisions turning the Chobe riverfront around to make it more tourist friendly, and looking at you know, developing it into.
To interrupt you, Madam.
Very scenic. And then in terms of collaboration, I'm finishing, sir. There's need to, we are looking for training for our industry and our staff in short-term and long-term courses. And we are looking at benchmarking for higher star ratings, looking at for example, the Taj Mahal, and benchmarking for the development of the MICE sector and for the development of the medical tourism. And we are looking for partners to coordinate destination promotion for inbound travel market into Botswana from India. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I was going to play a video, but in the interest of time, I think I will not be able to do so.
Thank you very much, Madam. And you can share your presentation and the video to all of us through CIA. So I think it's going to be fantastic to see all the attractions you have in Botswana. And certainly we are very keen to come and visit Botswana, as well as explore the opportunities of investment in Botswana. Thank you very much for your presentation. I would like to now invite our colleague from Ethiopia, who's been waiting for quite some time. Please, you can start a quick presentation. And I'm sorry, but I would like you to be brief because we have another session starting in just about 10 minutes from now. And we have one more presenter after this. Thank you so much for that, for your understanding.
Can you all see the slides?
Yeah, we can see the slides.
Thank you, sir. I will have a short video. Maybe I will just try to make a presentation for a few minutes and skip to the video so that you can see all the details from the video itself.
Okay, thank you very much.
Ethiopia is also in the East Africa, as you all know, and we have huge tourism growth potential in culture, history, and natural resources. Recently, with reform in the national government, we call it a homegrown economic reform. Tourism become a priority and one of the top 5 nations' priority. As you can see, our Prime Minister and the Ethiopian government has strong ties with the Indian government in education, trade, and tourism. So looking into the Ethiopian vision of tourism, we are anticipating or aspiring to be one of the top 5 touristic places in Africa. So far, the tourism sector has contributed much for employment and GDP. So with the employment, it covers close to 4%. And for the GDP also, it close to 4% it contributes. The Ethiopian tourist flow is continuously growing. It's really growing much. And we are anticipating to receive more than 1 million tourists from the coming year. If you ask me where is India in the Ethiopian tourism markets, as you can see, we have 4 market segments. So India is in the opportunity markets segment, and we haven't done much with the Indian tourists so far, but we have it in the list, and we have started getting tourists from the Indian market. So the Ethiopian national tourism brand is called Ethiopia Land of Origins. Like the Tanzania has Tanzania Unforgettable, and the Botswana has its own. So we have Ethiopia Land of Origins, and there are basic reasons why Ethiopia is said to be Land of Origins. One is Ethiopia is the source of the Blue Nile, or the source of the longest river in the planet. That's Abai, we call it. And the second is Ethiopia is the origin of coffee Arabica. So we are the source of coffee. And again, Ethiopia is the origin of humankind. Among close to 30 human discoveries that become testimony about our origins, close to 17 testimonies and evidences were taken from Ethiopia. It's not just because Lucy is the oldest humankind. It's not just because we have also Salam, much older and more complete than Lucy, but just because Ethiopia is the origin of coffee, the origin of the longest river, and the origin of humanity. So we feel Ethiopia, Land of Origins, is the home of everyone. And there are also extreme landscapes, like we have one of the most inhospitable climate for human to survive in Danakil Depression, one of the lowest point on Earth. We have also more than 40 mountains above 3,000 meters from sea level. As you can see, Ethiopia is really diverse, more than 80 ethnic groups, rich culture, and huge natural resources. We have about 9 ecosystems, from Afro-Alpine to desert. So one could experience what's all in the planet. And our touristic sites are mainly in 5 major segments. Addis Ababa and its surrounding is Addis Ababa. We call it diplomatic capital of Africa. It's not only the capital city of Ethiopia, it's the diplomatic capital of Africa, and where the African Union is also headquartered. And we have historic sites, rift valleys and coffee routes, and the hottest places like where you can see active volcanoes and the like. So this is Lucy, the grandmother for all of us, and it's found in the National Museum. Recently, with the reform, our new Prime Minister, Dr. Abiy, has established these new touristic destinations. As you can see, this is public parks. I will just quickly show you the photos. This is the Unity Park where the former prime ministers used to live, and it's now open for tourists. It's a national palace of Ethiopia. There is a zoo, there is a lions inside, and there is a beautiful garden and landscapes. And there is also pavilions where you can see all regions in this small and beautiful compound. And there is also a nature park in Addis Ababa where we have biking, running, hiking, and the like. So there's beautiful places for events, huge parking lots for conference. Ethiopia is really working very hard. Recently, under my office, we have established the Ethiopian Convention Bureau. The Ethiopian Convention Bureau is aiming to make Ethiopia a conference hub and to bring more global exhibitions, trades, and the like. So this is the African Union headquarters in Addis Ababa, which is one of the most beautiful places to see and to have a meeting inside. We have the most globally known distance running. So we have athletes like I'm sure you know, in 10,000 meter, we are always taking, otherwise we are sharing with Kenyan colleagues and neighbors. We have state-of-the-art facilities for conference and exhibitions. We have historical sites, like you see, more than 3,000 years old civilization of Christianity. And you can see rock-hewn churches that's carved and hewn out of a single rock. We have national palace. This is actually the oldest national palace in Africa. During then, the African kings used to live in a palace before the Roman built their own. So we are very much proud in that. We have beautiful lakes, mountains. It's a World Heritage Site. We call it the Simeon Mountains, and we have the Chiladababun, like Rwanda and Uganda has a gorilla. So we have beautiful landscapes. As you can see, wildlife. This is the place I told you about, the active volcano, where it's said to be the hottest place, one of the hottest places on Earth, and the lowest point in the globe. And we have also endemic animals like red fox and Niala, Walia, and the like, Islamic heritage at the same time. So as you can see, the visa is being free since recently. We have Ethiopian Airlines, the world-class airlines, and the leading in Africa. It's promoting itself as the spirit of Africa. It's connecting not only Ethiopia, connecting Africa to the rest of the world. It's one of the most competitive airline in operation. Like the Tanzanian colleagues has presented, Ethiopia has also received the safe travel stamp for COVID safety precautions and measures we have taken from the World Travel and Tourism Council. For investors, we have tour operation, resort city, lodge, mobile camping, eco lodge, helicopter tour, ballooning, and domestic flight operation, tourism and hospitality schools as business opportunities. So we would love to make relationships and networking and to make Africa as one touristic place for the global community to choose from. So we want to interact and strengthen the government to government and the private sector to private sector relationship and business networking. I thank you so much. I know I was very rushed and I have no option. You gave me only 10 minutes. So in any case, please allow me to share my very short video, and so that you can see what I really want to say.
Thanks a lot for mentioning Tanzania.
Ethiopia invites you to discover why it is the origin of so much history and culture. vibrantly alive in a landscape dramatic.
It's our pleasure.
For this is a land of origins. It's the cradle of humanity, where our ancestors first walked on two legs. It's also the source of the Blue Nile that flows from mystic Lake Tana. And it's the origin of coffee that grows wild in the cloud forests of the biosphere reserves of Kaffa and Yuyu. Ethiopia is old beyond imagination, but there is much that is still tangible. The remains of great civilizations like Aksum with its giant stelae, the mystical rock-hewn churches of Lalibela and Tigray, colorful Harar, the fourth most holy city in Islam, and powerful kingdoms that gave splendor to Gondar with its 17th century fairy tale castles. UNESCO has recognized this wealth with 9 World Heritage Sites. Ethiopia's mysterious ancient cities contrast with lively Addis Ababa, the diplomatic capital of Africa that has developed an excellent reputation for top-level international meetings. Today, Ethiopia is a mosaic of cultures, a living kaleidoscope of peoples from many different ethnic backgrounds and speaking over 80 different languages. They offer genuine warmth towards guests in the land of which they are so proud. Flamboyant and spiritually uplifting, Ethiopia's religious and ethnic festivals such as Tumket, Meskel, Ethiopian Christmas, Ramadan, Irecha, Jambalala, and Peoples, Nations and Nationalities Day give you the chance to be part of an authentic experience unlike any other and to leave with enduring memories. Ethiopia is also a land of dramatic landscapes of extraordinary contrasts. From the Afro-Alpine Simian Mountains with peaks over 4,000 meters and the Bali Mountains, both in the highlands, to the Danakil Depression, the lowest and hottest place on Earth. For Ethiopia has weird geothermal features, active volcanoes, also lush rainforests, rolling savanna,
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. We have another session in the next 5 minutes. I would stop you.
mingling with the endemic gelada dynamic present. Come, and you will discover why Ethiopia is original in many ways.
Thanks a lot for your understanding and showcasing wonderful Ethiopia. We all love, I know, we will be definitely going to visit these sites in Africa and promote them. Thanks a lot. Now, last but not the least, my colleague from Sadhguru Travel, Santosh, will be doing a short presentation. Please, Santosh, you can start and finish very quickly as well.
Yeah, I give you my word, it will not exceed 6 minutes. So yeah, this distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, African tourism is before pre-pandemic remains one of the fastest growing region in the travel and tourism globally. It is still in the early phases of development. According to the World Travel and Tourism Council, tourism is expected to contribute $269 billion and create 29 million new jobs by 2026. And same goes in the line of UNW to United Nations World Travel Organization, where they mention that if everything goes okay, Africa is to reach a benchmark of 134 million tourists by 2030, which is going to be more than double of what we are experiencing now. The significant expansion could obviously bring a lot to the GDP and job creations, and transform African countries and the continent at a large. However, this projection can only become a reality where there is a conducive environment that could facilitate infrastructure development, investment in human capacity development, growth in African market to promote sustainable tourism and regional integration. Sadhguru Travel was established in Kigali in 1989 by Mr. Anil Chandirani, our group chairman. The beginnings were humble, but today Sadhguru is a pioneer of technology and personalized services in many markets in Africa. We have our presence across African continent and further. Today, we are counted among one of the most leading travel companies in Africa, having a turnover of 1.2 billion US dollars, employing more than 3,200 employees and countless satisfied customers with headquarters in Dubai. We have a strong foothold in Africa, and what we promote is the wildlife safari as one of the most critical USPs. Understanding the significance of network, we have our presence in more than 70 countries worldwide. Some of our services include organized tour planning, hotel accommodation, and corporate travel. Where we are largely focusing these days is especially obviously during the pandemic also, is creating a robust platform, B2B and B2C. And we have done huge investments with the guidance of Mr. Anil to create a state-of-art B2B and a B2C portal, which can promote Africa as a destination to look for. We have also developed a chain of our own hotels by the name of Bravia, which is currently in Niger, Burkina Faso, and Togo. We are in talks with various governments to invest in hotels in respective destinations and even development of tourist sites. We are also in talks with the government to offer education and jobs to the students aspiring to grow in the foreign fields, which is ticketing into hotel industry, call center and personality development, and overseas education program. We look forward to engaging with the panelists of the session and explore mutual areas of cooperation. I would like to thank CIA and Ms. Indira Mulli, the Deputy Director of Africa, for giving us the opportunity. In nutshell, we are there in terms of technology, investments, know-how, and even in infrastructure to be in partner with Africa in all the means. Thank you. I think that was pretty quick.
Yeah, thank you very much, Santosh. I would hereby like to thank all the delegates. Just tell you a little bit about me. I was born and brought up in India, but I learned everything in Africa. I have lived myself in Africa for 20 years. 20 years of my young age, from when I was 20 till I was 40. I lived in Rwanda, I lived in Benin. I have learned a lot of things. I have learned all my business. So by heart, I'm African. I can speak Swahili. I have learned French from Africa. So I love Africa.
Wow.
Though I've been living outside Africa now for the last almost 17 years. Our headquarters are based out of Dubai. But whenever I go back to Africa, because as Santosh mentioned, our presence predominantly is in Africa. We are present in 47 African countries under the name of Sadhguru Travel and Tourism. Whenever I land back in Africa, I have the feeling of coming back home. So thank you all for participating in this conclave. I would be very keen to meet you all in person whenever I visit these countries in Africa where you're present. I will definitely make a point to come and see you. Thanks a lot for your participation.
Karibu sana Tanzania.
Asante sana bwana.
Thanks.
Okay.
I like it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Zimradani.